That means no more sacrificing people for policy. A real transition has to protect jobs, pensions, and entire towns. It's not just the morally right thing to do, it's how we win.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Hi, Adam and Jacob, and all the listeners of the Valley Labor Report. This is Debbie in Huntsville. I'm a member of IATSE Local 900 and a former member of the Progressive Workers Union. I'm also a volunteer community organizer and a climate activist with Citizens Climate Lobby in Huntsville. So I'm calling on April 22nd, so happy Earth Day. I want to let this community know about an advocacy training that our chapter is holding in the afternoon of Saturday, May 10th at the downtown Huntsville Library. So CCL is a nonpartisan and bipartisan organization. We build political will by empowering breakthroughs in personal and political power for climate change. And CCL teaches citizens like us how to organize and build the power that we need so that decision makers, whether they're your union leaders, your business owners, or your legislators, so that they're compelled to listen to us. I think there's a lot of things that idealistic people wish would happen, but the reality is that much of the time you need enough power to be a credible ally or a credible threat. So come on May 10th, we'll introduce you to CCL and what we do. We'll teach you skills for advocating with your elected officials. And finally, we're going to end with a mock lobbying session. So you'll get to practice your newfound skills. It's a beginner-friendly training. If you're a new activist, if you're a seasoned organizer, if you're conservative, if you're progressive, we welcome you at our training. So you can find out more information and register at climatehuntsville.eventbrite.com. And I'm looking forward to meeting you there. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Appreciate it so much, Debbie. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate my union sister, Debbie, committed, passionate environmental advocate here in the area, and always encourage folks to get trained on advocacy because, it takes everyday, ordinary people like yourself, like us. It takes us getting involved to make a difference. Politicians and power brokers, they hear from other powerful people all the time. They hear from wealthy lobbyists all the time. They need to hear from regular folks like us. And yeah, I appreciated the climate emphasis as well. It is the week of Earth Day, and this week on the Valley Labor Report, we're honoring Earth Day the union way by talking about how the labor movement and the environmental movement go hand in hand. Earth Day is a workers' day too, because here's the truth. If we want to build a just, sustainable future, we've got to make sure working people are at the center of it, not left behind. Corporate greed is at the heart of the climate crisis and environmental issues broadly. The economic elites and their politician allies have decided that the pursuit of profit in the short term is more important than preserving our planet in the long term. We've previously interviewed Matthew Huber about his book, Climate Change as Class War, and I think his title says a lot. Climate change and other assaults on our environment, from poisoning of our air, land, and water, to deforestation and reckless resource extraction, ultimately these are attacks on the working class. It's us and our children and our grandchildren who bear the brunt. If we're going to talk about Earth Day, let's acknowledge the basic fact that capitalism is destroying our global ecosystem. If we're going to reverse course, or hell, at this point, just mitigate the damage, it will take organized worker power. It's up to us as a working class to secure a just transition away from fossil fuels and towards a sustainable future. Take the so-called green economy. Politicians love to throw that term around. But too often, what they really mean is lower wages, non-union contractors, and broken promises in communities like ours. That's why many unions are calling for a real just transition. For example, the IBEW supports federal legislation that would incentivize employers to keep displaced fossil fuel workers working. Seems pretty modest, honestly.
Hey, 5 seconds, just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
That means no more sacrificing people for policy. A real transition has to protect jobs, pensions, and entire towns. It's not just the morally right thing to do, it's how we win. We've talked to Jeremy Brecker and others about a Green New Deal, which has now become a sort of demonized phrase, but has also been used as a catch-all phrase to refer to the need for a massive federal jobs and infrastructure investment to deal with the environmental crisis, like we saw in the 1930s and 40s in response to the Great Depression and World War II. It's understandable that workers in dirty sectors like fossil fuels would be skeptical. We've already seen how manufacturing was hollowed out in part by free trade deals like NAFTA. And, throughout that time, politicians made a lot of promises when it comes to creating jobs, when it comes to retraining and all of the great opportunities that were going to come with this. So we keep hearing that green jobs are the future, and that might be true, and I hope it is true. But right now, many of these jobs at EV plants, solar companies, and battery factories are non-union, underpaid, and highly exploited. That's why the UAW is organizing electric vehicle plants across the South, because shouldn't a green job also be a good job? Environmental injustice and labor injustice often go hand in hand. The same working class communities that get hit hardest by pollution and climate disasters are also the ones with the worst wages and working conditions. I appreciate the Labor Network for Sustainability and their effort at building a powerful labor climate movement to secure an ecologically sustainable and economically just future from the ground up. From poultry plants to auto plants, from the shop floor to the shoreline, it's all connected. And it's not just about long-term climate. It's about what workers are already facing right now. Here in the South, more and more workers are dealing with extreme heat, dangerous storms, and environmental hazards on the job. Farm workers, warehouse workers, sanitation workers, construction workers, they're already on the front lines of climate change. But we don't even have a national heat standard from OSHA. That's deadly. And it's why we need unions to push for real workplace protections. Now, let's be clear, this isn't a new fight. Labor has always fought for clean air, safe workplaces, and public health. Unions were pushing for stronger environmental laws long before Earth Day became a national holiday. From the coal fields to the chemical plants, it was union members who blew the whistle, organized for clean water, and demanded safer conditions. Think about asbestos, right? Here's how the United Electrical Workers put it. UE encourages the union at all levels to educate members about climate change and creative solutions that reduce carbon output while creating good union jobs. That's the labor movement at its best, fighting for our communities and not just our contracts. So what does this all mean for us here in the South, right here in Alabama? It means we need stronger ties between labor and climate justice movements. It means building coalitions that include workers, faith groups, climate advocates, and communities who are just fighting to survive. The Blue-Green Alliance says it plainly. Our policies must support high labor and environmental standards throughout the clean energy supply chain. That's what we should be demanding from lawmakers, from companies, and from each other. This Earth Day, let's remember, you can't have climate justice without worker justice. And any transition that doesn't include the people doing the work isn't a transition. It's an eviction. So let's keep building that working class environmental movement. Let's organize, let's fight, and let's make sure the South rises with both feet, green and union strong.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.